सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट रो स्टेट गवर्नमेंट रो तथा भी हमें करि पा सो सारी ऊपर पहली द डिस्कशन शुड रिवॉल्व अराउंड दैट के बाकी सब जिनस समस्त पाखे अच्छी कहते सब आउ गूगल कले आपन को मिली जीव माने आपन डाटा पाई पारिबे जे गवर्नमेंट रो कौन स्कीम अच्छी कौन प्रमोशन करूची कौन से गुडा को मु चर्चा करिया को चाहन आई डोंट वांट टू टेक इट
एक्जाक्टली आपण देखिबे ढोकरा जिनसटा हमर कुड़ियना केउंझर सेपटे आउ ढेंकानाल सेपट सब करूचंती भाटी फाटी करी करी बहुत लोक सेटा को व्यवसाय रे रखिचंती ताकर माने बाप जा जेजापा काळरू से भाटी उडा को अछि सो जे दे आर मेंटेनिंग दैट बिकॉज़ से कलाटा ताका हाथ रे अछि किंतु आपण छत्तीसगढ़ झारखंड रो नेबे ढोकरा का देखिबे सेई माछटिए कि हाथीटिए से माने करिथिबे तांको माछटी हाथीटा देखिबे आ हमर माछ आ हाथीटा देखिबे आमर से जो सरू तार जो बुलेई थिबे कहार आखिटा बड़ थिबो कहा आखिटा छोट थिबो माने गोटिए हाथीर दीटा आखि से दीटा आखिर साइज एपट सेपट हे जाइथिबो माने एमिति मु कहूनी कि माने हाथीर अति परफेक्शन बिकॉज दिस इज हैंड वर्क एंड हैंड वर्क कैनॉट बी सो फिनिश्ड लाइक मशीन किंतु जो फिनिशिंग ता दरकार होची जोटा छत्तीसगढ़ वाला करि पारचंदी हेटा आम लोक काई करि पारनाहाती आम लोकंकर से स्किल टारे कोन माने ताकर असुविधा रहउची माने आ देखंतु से जो कुंभार माने से तांको बाप अजा जेजापा को सिखिचंती आमे सेगुडा को आमे इले सिखिले भी आम हाथ रे पिला माने हमरो जो नेक्स्ट जनरेशन आसीबो सेटा को सिखिले भी से माने सेटा को हाथ को सफा करिकिरी नेइकिरी नै आनला बेल को बहुत टाइम लागिबो ए छुआ माने कोन ताको पिला दिनु देखिले से कारीगरी कामटा सेई मानक पाखरे ही कलाटा अछि से माने निज को सुधारी करी नुआ नुआ दिनस टिके करते मार्केट रे जहा चालुची जेमति आपण कहिले मार्केट रे कोन चलिबो मार्केट रो डिमांड कोन आउ कोन से हाथी घोड़ा समस्या रखुचंती आउ कोन नुआ नुआ दिनस करबा ना हमें नुआ दिनस नुआ इनोवेशन ए दिनसटारे वी आर लैकिंग आई थिंक मु एबे 6 बाजलानी आई विल जस्ट सी यस सर but 8 participants are there so what I'll do is that I'll just start formally. Very good evening everyone, all participants. And very warm welcome to Professor Dr. Binay Bhushan Jena, who was the former director of NIFT and now the chairman of Textile Association of India. So I feel so great that I know Jena's Binay Bhushan sir, and then I got the privilege to discuss with him on the platform of OCF, through OCF. So I feel so grateful and privileged. So actually today we have a very interesting topic and number of women entrepreneurs deal with this. That is orienting handloom and handicraft sector of Odisha for export market. So that is a very vital and very crucial and very interesting topic for all the women entrepreneurs and the male entrepreneurs. Aji jete jana participants achanti, I will request everyone to listen properly, and wherever you want to ask anything you can just ask sir immediately, and otherwise also we will have this today's session will be very interactive, and whatever doubts, whatever questions you have, you can very well ask Vinay sir. He is a very nice, friendly person, and definitely his talk will help all of us. Thank you. Over to you, Vinay sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Namaskar to everybody. I'm so happy to be here. In fact, first of all, I'd like to thank Corporate Odisha Foundation, and particularly Rishikesh Behra Babu. And it was again an absolute pleasure for me having a host who is known to me for almost more than a couple of years, and we're working together. Yes, thank you so much, ma'am, and thank you so much, Worship, for giving me this opportunity. This is definitely a important topic that when he asked me to choose the topic, I said, you can pick anything related to handloom or handicraft sector, because Odisha is probably has got a potential in these two category of products as far as MSME sector is concerned. So we decided to go with this one. But definitely what I'm not going to talk today is mostly about the policy and schemes, which is discussed by many people, many experts in numerous forums, or the government or in civil society forums. Whenever we refer to craft sector, we refer to government policies and schemes and scopes. But my topic is more into understanding how the export sector behaves and what are the preferences, choices, tastes that we actually come across in numerous international markets, so that we can probably catch hold of some percentage of or a pie in the entire international market. See, I would not like to again give a very rosy picture about what we have been doing, but certainly just look at the size of the market. If you only take handicrafts today, it has crossed $1 trillion business. Globally, it is $1 trillion. And it's expected to reach around $2 trillion by 2030. It is again unprecedented. It's never before a phenomenon. I mean, something that is very, very exciting, particularly for a country like India or a state like Odisha, where you find a majority of the people are working in either in handloom or handicraft sector. I mean, other than agriculture, if you look at the people where we find the majority of employment are generated, that's in the non-farm handloom and handicraft sector. So believing that if the products are well accepted here and we have a very rich culture, history, heritage, and practicing these crafts for generations, it can also be very attractive for people across the globe. And to an extent, India is one of the largest exporters of handicrafts. But when you say largest exporters, look at the pie. What is the size of India's exports as far as handloom or handicrafts is concerned? A very small percentage of the global sale. Hello. If you look at the exports in handloom, we are something hovering around, let's say, 2,000 to 2,500 2,500 INR, I mean crores of exports. But if you look at the size of the global market for handloom or eco-friendly or green-related handloom products, it's too big. So is also handicrafts. The size of the handicraft sector market, when it has touched $1 trillion, how much we are exporting? It's at something around $5 billion per exports, which includes carpets. Carpets is one of the major exports from India. If you, take out carpets from handicraft categories, then 50%, almost 45% is, going for export for carpets. So only we find 55% of this. So why it is so? And secondly, if you look at the market, the export market, so everybody is targeting either US or European Union. And in European Union, our targets are very specific. We're targeting 5-6 countries. And in US or in the Americas, we are targeting US and only Canada. So there are many countries in the world, many regions in the world where we can actually find markets or create niche markets for our handicraft and handloom products, which is never targeted. So there are obvious reasons why it is not happening or why it is happening. But my concern would be, what kind of orientations are required here so that we can actually make a global presence as far as products from Odisha is concerned. So what kind of products we are producing? And these products that we produce in our home state, whether it can actually attract a global audience or not? So this is a big question. So I studied it carefully through my own research, and I engage my students in research work, particularly understanding international markets. I mean, across the globe, whether it is US market or it's about European Union market, or you talk about MEA, or you talk about even Middle East, you talk about APSC market, or you talk about specifically, let's say, Middle East or East Asia or South Asia, even countries like Australia, New Zealand. So we go for specific studies and to understand what is the demand for handcrafted products in those countries. So you find some similarities and some differences. The most important thing that we have noticed that the growth of handicraft sector and handicraft and handloom across these markets, these export destinations, is actually rising very, very fast. There is a global audience which is ready to buy our products in the name of many things. Let's say supporting the, LDCs, least developed countries, or developing world. And second, if you look at the kind of consciousness related to climate change or global warming or environment, so this also puts a lot of pressure on the consumers. We find that consumers associate a lot with handicraft or handcrafted products in the name of environmental sustainability, sometimes social sustainability. So both these concerns dominate. Social concern and environmental concern dominate the handcrafted product market in the world. But even they're ready to buy, are we equipped? This is a question. So is it according to their taste, whatever we are making? So if you're making according to their tastes or preferences, then would probably the transaction could take place. The transaction is not happening. We are not able to reach those markets. There are many reasons why you are not able to, but my focus would be on the product side. So why we have not been able to, attract the customers across the export destination markets. So one such thing I would tell you that, look, if you find, post-COVID scenario, if you look at the post-COVID scenario, people are looking at, countries are focusing on tourism development. And when it comes to tourism, obviously, people are also thinking of offering souvenirs and small art and craft pieces. People often buy when they travel to different places as a memoir. You go to any destination, you would love to buy for yourself, and you also buy for people, for your relatives, for your friends. You bring back something. Many countries, even if they do have wonderful monuments, tourist destinations, but they don't have handcrafted products to offer. And most of the handcrafted products that we see or come across the global market is coming from India, China, Bangladesh, Vietnam. You can say in the East and South Asian subcontinent, including Indonesia and all. Even in Pakistan, Nepal. These are the countries from where you find, most of the handicraft or handcrafted products are going to the export market. But when you look at the kind of products that we are offering, what people are buying there and what people are aspiring to buy there is a huge gap. Let us say people, those who are visiting New York. If you're visiting New York, very often you go to, where you go. Let's say you're visiting Statue of Liberty. So you ask any traveler or anybody who has visited US, you'd say that I bought a couple of, small mementos of, Statue of Liberty for myself and for my relatives, friends. So even in my case, when I visited, I bought about 12 pieces of Statue of Liberty of different sizes. And I gifted it to people. So these were made up of different things. These are not handcrafted, machine-made products. but the tastes are actually switching. Now people are looking for handcrafted products. They're ready to pay a premium. I mean, its premium is not a very small amount. I'm talking about 30%, 40%, or 50% premium. So when there is a market, but we are not able to actually, reach those markets, this is, the cause of concern. It's not, I just threw an example of New York, but there are many monuments. I mean, every country is promoting their tourism. Let us say if you look at Odisha, if people who are coming here, what they would love to buy, if they're visiting Konark or Puri or Bhubaneswar, they would definitely buy something which is native to this place and which would probably representative of these monuments. So in what form, what material, what size you are offering a product which represents your monuments or tourist destination to these tourists, whether international or domestic. The same phenomena is applicable when you visit international destinations. So this is a question that either we have not been able to study those markets, offering something which actually can attract their tastes and preferences in the international market. So, but how to do this? How to actually reach those people? So we have done a lot of experiments, in fact, even at our institute, and personally, I have done a lot of experiments. I've been testing markets for the last couple of years, making small monuments. Let's say whether it is Eiffel Tower or Leaning Tower of Pisa, or making a small, what you call, Statue of Liberty, or you name any monument. See, we made pyramids made of stone. We made pyramids of Dokra. We made pyramids of, even golden grass. We made pyramids of wood, piece of wood. So that was not that attractive. I went to international buyers. Many times these products were rejected. They said, no, these products are not that attractive, or the products are too heavy to carry. The ergonomics doesn't match, a traveler who would carry those products in their bag. The packaging is probably not that good. So these kind of feedbacks we used to get, and we bring back those products and we try again. And this is how we have been experimenting so that we can actually create products using mixed media. Earlier, the trend is that if you're making a product, let's say if it is a wooden product, it should be wood. If it is Dokra, it's Dokra. But can we fuse, let's say, two mediums or multi-mediums to create a very unique offering for the international market? These are not the categorizations when you look at the DC sites, development commissioners, and a handicraft site, or you go to the government of Odisha handicraft site. The way we have categorized, we have taken single mediums. So there is no scope for multi-mediums. We need to create that multi-medium. If you could use mixed media, you have got a lot of scope to manufacture different types of products, right, for the international market. Secondly, in the name of sustainability, many countries have now either rejecting or they have stopped importing products where they find even there is a little use of plastics, acrylic, or any kind of petrochemical based, raw materials, both in the case of handloom as well as in handicrafts. So there is no question of that. Earlier you used to think that you also use plastic based or acrylic based or even resin based products to international markets. You can make numerous products using those kind of raw materials, but these are not no more acceptable in many of the international destinations. So what do you do? So how can you then make more beautiful products? What are the substitutes? And there's also a concern for machine-made and handmade products. People are more looking towards handmade products than machine-made products because of both societal and environmental concerns. How much carbon footprint your product is leaving behind. So these, if you are able to answer or tell a story about your product, that also makes a great impact on the customers across, which I didn't find in case of Indian handicrafts, barring few exporters, those who are putting stories behind the craft. It's not about the product, it's about the craft. If you're selling a craft, the craft has a story. Let us tell the story in the international market. This is also not going in the right way. Probably it's not reaching. We are not putting tags where you can actually talk about the art, the craft of the art and the artisans. It's also not happening. Right. So these are actually few important functions where I thought I should pitch in and discuss about how to take the Indian handicrafts or the handicrafts of Odisha to the international market. Then categorically, I picked off, let us say, wooden craft from Odisha or wooden crafts of India, like Usha ma'am was talking about Dokra. So let us say Dokra, you find a lot of differences. So producing Dokra in the state itself, Odisha, whether you go to Sadebrani or you go to any other place in Odisha, and you produce the same craft in Chhattisgarh, or you go to Betul. So you find there is a difference in quality. So what happens? Why those people are able to make, let's say, a good product, and we fail to make that. So this kind of questions we also need to go. Okay. So I would say that India is actually one of the largest handicraft exporting countries. I mean, if you look at the statistics over the last couple of years, the export of handmade goods, especially, products made of wood, metal, even grass-related products like golden grass, or sabai grass, terracotta, even jewelry, costume jewelry, and all. So this has shown a tremendous growth. I see, it's a double-digit growth in the international market. So this is very exciting that despite all those shortcomings that we have been discussing, but the growth and the potential is very, very exciting, because the growth is now going around 11-12% for handicrafts in the international market. So again, coming back to the destinations, if you target specific markets, each market is unique. The market that you find in Japan is not the same as the market you find in US. Their tastes are different. Their even color theories that we put in our products are also different in case of US markets, or if you go to a market in Japan. The preferences are different. The size that you put in are also very different. Let us say when we are talking about wall hangings, so I asked a handloom, producer in Odisha, who is very proficient in making what you call the wall hangings. She's very good at doing something, let's say gods and goddesses, or you can ask her to make a scenery of, let's say, typical Odisha Chilika. So she can make that. And the size and the way I made it, I put it before few exporters. When I sent it to an American buyer, she gave a very different insight about the product. And when I took it to a buyer in Japan, their observations were completely different. They had observations on the size. They had observations on the color combinations. Right. So we have to understand what, because the meaning which is associated with different colors will vary from US to Japan. So these kind of understanding and insights are absolutely required when we are talking about the export markets. You cannot make one size product for every country. You cannot have one color combination for every country that you're targeting as an export destination. And these countries are absolutely different. US is different from UK market, and definitely UK's these two destinations are different from when it comes to Latin American market. You go to Brazil or Argentina, these markets are different. Similarly, the market that you find in Australia is also different. Canada is different, France is different, Germany is different, Italy is different. And the market that you find even the closer countries, neighboring countries, say in Far East, it's Japan or South Korea. The South Korean market is different from the Japanese market. The tastes are different. So we have to understand those facets as far as the export market is concerned. And if you look at the nearby market, how the UAE market is growing. UAE market is probably the fastest growing market as far as handicraft is concerned. This is almost, you find a huge Indian diaspora in UAE. But still, if you go around and find products, handcrafted or handmade products, you find mostly Chinese products or products from Bangladesh, products from Pakistan, products even from Nepal, or products from Indonesia. I rarely find products from India. Yeah. So this question we need to ask to ourselves, why we have not been able to make our presence felt, despite the fact that the government, both at the center and the state, are actually trying hard to promote this sector. So I think it's all about coming down to the product and its value chain. This is something to do with the choice and preference patterns of the customers sitting across the globe. So this cannot be done by the government. This is more about the producers, more about the exporters. They need to understand the markets. The government can only help them out, can support them whether financially or building the supply chain to an extent, or facilitating the production, facilitating the exports. Now, if you, I have few more questions as far as the orientation part of the handicraft sector is concerned, and the handloom sector is concerned. What I see that people forget fundamental understanding about what would probably be sold. And we also do not try to orient ourselves in making something else. I have products which I could show it to you here. I've experimented with different artisans, with wood, stone, dokra, golden grass, and savai grass, and even handloom products. I have to an extent failed, and also to an extent succeeded in the in appealing the international customers. But where I have failed, that I am still working, in fact, because it's the artisan who make the product for the international market. See, I asked something. Let's say I asked a stone carving artisan from Khurda to make a Mother Mary, a storyline. In fact, it's a Mother Mary, and it's about Jesus and Jesus' bar. It took 6 months' time. The first time he made, he failed miserably. He's very good at making Ganesha. He's very good at making, other gods and goddesses Hindu gods and goddesses. But he could not make them. He could not visualize how a Jesus would probably look like, how a cross should look like, how the appearance, when you look at the face of Mother Mary, so it's like a merciful picture. So it should appear like that, but it was not, in fact, visible on the figures he made on stone. So what I did, I took it to the exporter. He said, it doesn't appear like Mother Mary. You have almost made an Indian or Odia lady and holding a small baby. It's not going to work. And the beard and all that you made for the Jesus, half figure up to the torso, it is also not appearing like it's not Jesus. It's looking like Osama bin Laden. So I came back. I tried again, and he took again 6 months, but he could not make it, because these people are not trained to make those products. Either there is a degree of reluctance to make, or they're actually not trained. But he's very good at making Ganesha and all the gods and goddesses. Right? Yeah, ma'am. You asking
Yes,
something?
sir. Yes, sir. I'll just interrupt you here because exactly the same thing happened with me. A person from Singapore, he approached me that applic you are doing so wonderful applic work, and can you make a Michael Jackson in applic? So I tried my best going to all the stitching fellows in Chandanpur, Pipili, and the nearby areas with holding a printout of Michael Jackson. That was not a difficult one because I took 2-3 printouts, and the simplest one was just a hanging head with a black cap hanging head and holding the cap like that, and just a curl here, just a curl here. The simplest one I took out, and I went to almost so many people, but they told, ame kamota korinu, ame kama korunu, tenu apna eta ame kori paribuni. So naturally, whatever they are doing since ages, their hand is set in that, so they do not want to venture into any new things. Same thing happened. से देई पारिलेनी एंड मु भी से सिंगापुर लोकों को मना कर देली जे हम एटा करि परिबुनी, हमर फिनिशिंग हेई परिबनी. बट ही टोल्ड कि मैडम इफ यू विल डू एप्लिक माइकल जैक्सन इन एप्लिक वर्क, it will sell in Singapore, all that side, like hotcake. But I could not do. Same thing happened with the Raghurajpur painting. Each and every painting we have there, it mostly says about the mythological stories. All Radha Krishna background and all the mythological stories. No doubt, we have excellent artists in Pattachitra and they do outstanding work. बट अगर कोई फॉरेनर वो आर्ट को पसंद करते हैं और वो इंट्रिकेसी को देख के उनको बहुत मन होता है कि इसको वो बाय कर ले, क्योंकि उनको डॉलर के हिसाब से वो पैसा बहुत ही कम लगता है अकॉर्डिंग टू द वर्क वी हैव. बट वो 56 स्टोरीज वाला जगन्नाथ का जो है वो लाइफ साइकिल लेके जाते हैं, या कृष्णा जी का बाल लीला लेके जाते हैं, या हमारा जो दशावतार लेके जाते हैं, वो उन्होंने उनका वॉशरूम रेस्टरूम में लगाते हैं कि चप्पल जूता स्टैंड के ऊपर लगाएंगे, वी डोंट नो. So we need to motivate our artisans कि आप नेचर को भी ले लो, नेचर के हिसाब से भी वही सेम पट्टचित्र का काम को वो ब्रश आप यूज करो नेचर को डिपिक्ट करने के लिए, और कोई स्टोरी थीम लो जहां पे भगवान को ना रखो. So you can take Roger theme. Ebe now Pattachitra artists are coming with very wonderful theme, because हम लोग बार बार उनको बोलते हैं कि आप डांडिया का थीम ले लो, आप रॉजर का थीम ले लो, आप दूसरा कोई गेम्स लोग खेल रहे हैं उसका ले लो. So now the artisans are coming up with some new revolution of making some new things, not the same stereotype things. So exactly as you said कि मदर मेरी जैसे नहीं लगे, वो अपना गांव की औरत बच्चे को पकड़ के वो प्यार कर रही है, वही लगेगे और कुछ नहीं. Carry on.
Exactly.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. And it's not about one experiment. I have got so many. I'm just citing one example where I succeeded. I'll again come down to the products. One such thing that came to me, then I was traveling to another destination in Africa. So somebody asked me, that was my third visit to Africa, East Africa particularly. So that time I was supposed to attend a couple of meetings in Addis Ababa, where representatives from UN and representatives from African Union and representatives from organizations like Solidarity and all, they were supposed to be there, including IMF. So somebody suggested me if you could carry, handcrafted products from Odisha. So I developed few products. Let me tell you, just to promote Pattachitra, I requested Matheson. His name is Niranjan Mahapatra from, Konas. So I requested, if can you make products? I gave a theme. Again, the Mother Mary and most of the people living in Ethiopia are basically Protestants. So I said, if you can make a theme, I gave a picture and showed it to him. I want it in Pattachitra. He made it. And when I took it to them, he made a couple of pieces, one in Talapatra and palm leaf, and the other in obviously on canvas and on patta. I carried those pieces to Addis Ababa. After the meeting, there was a priest also, father of a church. He was sitting. I showed it to him. He was somehow known to me that time. He appreciated it a lot. So then I asked him, "What do you think? What should be the price of these kind of products?" So I got an overwhelming response from those people. So they say this is priceless. I said this is an age-old craft, and look how people make products on palm leaf. And the way it was, probably it was for the first time somebody gifted a product made of palm leaf. And if I could get it for, let's say, 1,000 rupees, 1,200 rupees, or 1,500 rupees, I could easily sell those products in that kind of market for, let's say, nothing less than 10,000 rupees or so. A similar experiment I made with Dokra. I picked up an artisan who's also an Avadi artisan, visited a couple of countries in the world, from Sadevani. It's a very well-known, Dokra artist. I said, since you're very famous, people know you, I want you to make these products. I got an Italian buyer. So she wanted me to develop products which probably would work in their markets, but the size was a little bigger. But unfortunately, it was not possible to make those products in, the kind of setups they have at Sadeva. The foundry can only make small products, not big products. Big products which are of 2 feet and 1.5 feet height, they cannot make it. So, but still, I said that you make it in pieces, then we'll connect it. He agreed. I tried. That time, they used to make those products, and sell it in kilograms. Let's say Utkalika would buy in Odisha Dokra products that time in 550 rupees per kilogram. I offered him 1,000 rupees. She was so happy. So even after paying him 1,000 rupees, when the product came out, I'm just talking about a Qutub Minar, I'm talking about Leaning Tower of Pisa, I'm talking about a pyramid. So I asked, what is the price of your product? He said, sir, it is 5.5 kilogram, this is 6 kilogram. So you have to pay 6,000 rupees, and this is for 5,500 rupees. And when the buyer came, I said, you see, what should be the price of it? Said, you can peg it around something around 35,000 rupees. Just imagine if 5,000 products become 35,000 from my end. I could make a profit of 30,000. So I never wanted to become a middleman, so I connected him with them. But unfortunately, these people, again, they failed to deliver what they promised. They worked on a sample, but they could not deliver it on time. He kept on chasing those artisans, but still they didn't make it. They took an advance of 1 lakh rupees, but still they didn't make it. I had to constantly chase them. Every time I asked them, they would say that there is no availability of wax, there is no availability of the required or the raw materials, and it's raining, somebody's not well. So these kind of, please hear from them. Right. I mean, what I'm saying is we can succeed in the market if we try actually. But the kind of orientation which is required this moment, particularly for the artisans, we probably need to focus on training of those artisans and making products for international market. The choices are different. Indian choice is completely different. As you rightly said, would you like to accept if somebody, an international buyer, buying a Ganesha and putting it nearby to somewhere closer to their shoe stand? We would never accept it. Hell with the money. I don't need that money. If I find it to be blasphemous, I would never like to make money out of, okay, if somebody is trying to put my gods and goddesses in such situations. This is not an ideal situation. So why should not we focus on making products which could probably go with their mindset, their things. It is no more art. We know that we are very much proficient as far as art and craft is concerned. But you want to make money out of these arts and crafts. So the orientation should be moving away from art to commerce. So moving, if you're talking about making money out of your art, so move, if the world behaves in a particular way, you have to actually make it for them that way one. You cannot offer them rice, dal, dalma or something. May not be, you have to offer them exactly something which is more palatable for them. Probably acceptable for them. So this, it's not that we cannot make it. We have got everything to make it. And moreover, the choices are as moving towards, there is an increasing demand for social and environmental sustainability of handcrafted products. And that's the key for what you see, that we are the people, those who could probably make it. And Odisha has tremendous potential as far as, the sustainability tag is concerned. I mean, both environmental and social sustainability. Okay. So if you look at the materials that is used in handcrafted products, mostly these are eco-friendly products, eco-friendly raw materials. Whether you take jute or wood or bamboo or metal or even, any kind of fibers and fabrics. So we are very much into products which are 100% biodegradable. Not a single craft that we have ever produced which is not non-biodegradable. Only in recent past we have introduced some other materials like the petrochemical based materials, which is again you cannot make those products for the international market. Okay. So again, coming back to the experiments on products, I also tried on bamboo, tried products on wood, tried products on in golden grass. Recently, in the last week, there was an exporter who visited Odisha. I was with them for 2 days. I took them to Kendrapada, the golden grass cluster. I took them to wood carving experts at manufacturers of wooden products, to whom also I took them to Satish production place to his workshop. I sent them to another place in near to Niali. We went there, both of them went there, and I sent them also to Kendra.
Just Kalabhumi is also good. Kalabhumi is also good. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. But they wanted to import products. They wanted to export products from Odisha. So they wanted specific manufacturers. So I sent them. In fact, I went with them to Satish. So I showed them that, look, these. But what they said, these are all machine-made products. So you are using turners and making it. But what we want is handmade products. Then I sent them to another manufacturer whom I have been mentoring.
Sabai grass products, golden grass products. These are all Patachitra. These are all handmade only.
Yes,
carving, stone carving.
Right. So, but these wooden products are mostly, he uses turners and all. So they said the products are nice, but these are all machine-made products. But we want handmade products. Then again, he said, can you make sand-blasted products, wooden products for me? So because they have got a demand for sand-blasted wooden products. Unfortunately, none of our artisans knew about it. So we are probably the first ones. We discussed with Satish and discussed with other manufacturers of wooden products. Then we showed them a video where sandblasting is being done. So they realized and said, I can procure a machine for you if you could make products. And they are paying a good premium on those products. The products, they don't want any kind of colors or polishes on these, wooden carved products. They only want a sandblasting, which gives a very interesting and very attractive effect on, increases the aesthetic of that product. Okay.
Product.
Yeah. So choosing the right medium and choosing the right, I would say that the color combination, the methods, and the way you make products are becoming very, very important. People are asking, I mean, what percentage of the product is actually made using machine? In handicraft, we also use machines, but small tools machines, so we cannot work on hand. Probably because of finish, because of efficiency or productivity, we sometimes use. But if you use only machine to manufacture, it's not going to be considered as handcrafted products. People won't accept it. They can easily make out. We have the experience of working with a few exporters from Jaipur. I didn't know even because I was also not aware of that. So I asked him that you send me some handcrafted products. He sent me wooden handcrafted products. Those are actually not handcrafted. These are all made in machine in Jodhpur or in Jaipur. I was actually not aware of because he only said that these are all handcrafted. And I sent it to 3 buyers. And those buyers, they were very much aware of that these are not handcrafted. So I had to argue with them, no, these are handcrafted. I said, no, this cannot be made in hand by hand. These are all machine made products. So then I asked those suppliers. They at last said, yes, sir, these most part of it are actually machine made because the kind of finishes you want, it cannot be made by hand. So, but against those products, the same exporter, he sold me products which are absolutely, I mean, I don't find any comparison between those products and products made by us. These products are made in Pakistan, with that he sold. And such a wonderful product. And these are, abstract designs basically made on wood. Beautiful products and wonderful finishes. And it's all made by hand. They would probably rub the sandpaper and all and to bring those kind of finishes. These are never a practice in either in Odisha or in India. So I found that the orientation that is required, the mindset that is required for, the export market as far as handloom and handicraft is concerned, we are not getting into those details. Our more focus is on getting schemes, funds, government supports and all. So which I think people, the startups and entrepreneurs need to focus more on this part. If you can have a market, there is an assured market, the rest of the things can be managed. You can request the government, look, there is a market waiting for me and my products have been appreciated in that country or that particular market. So you can get a good profit from every government at the state or the center.
Vinay sir,
Yeah,
now
yeah,
10 minutes, I'll request all the participants to ask you whatever they want, what is there in their mind. So next 10
Wonderful.
minutes, I'll just request, then you can continue. Let me just
Sure,
ask.
sure.
17 participants are there, and I will request if you have anything to ask about handloom and handicraft sector related doubts, you can very well ask, sir.
Madam, good evening.
Yeah. Please start. Please say.
In fact, a very nice presentation by Shah, and it was really eye-opener in many respects to possibly most of us. A few things came to my mind that in Odisha, particularly in the context of Odisha, for many things, including our crafts, including our cultural assets also, for that matter, our Odissi dance, Potachitra, Odissi song. In fact, possibly a time has come, it appears that we need to rethink on some aspects, like particularly marketing, how we need to package things. And the sir was telling that we have to have a relook. Otherwise, possibly we will be roaming around here and there, full of emotions. And but the market will not really happen, and market will not really give yield to us. That's what, in fact, in recent times, I could well correlate with what sir was telling with the recent, TV serial, that Pushpa Impossible, that serial, Possibly this is well explained there and really nicely depicted that how things do take place in Western India, particularly in Maharashtra, because I had been in Maharashtra for quite some time, how their cooperatives, like their milk cooperatives, sugar cooperatives, how do they work and how do they channelize their farmers' output. Similarly, as Sir has told, how the local people, local artisans, we can give them science, awareness, technology. In fact, we have to give the market and marketing leaders, cooperative leaders, orientation. Sir was very much correct in that their government patronage, support, government or otherwise, the training. But now it comes to how to do, who will do, either the government or non-government NGO or maybe private sectors. So in that sector, because Sir was in a very good position, I would like to know also, have we done any real productive work in that direction? Because I have my own doubt in that Utkalika movement in Odisha. Fine. So have we done anything on that? I would like to know.
Thank you so much, sir. It's a very interesting question. And I think we have been talking about this quite a very long time, that how these government support and support by civil society organizations, particularly the NGOs, those who have been closely working with the handicraft sector, how they have benefited these people, whether they have been able to address their concerns. To a significant extent, you know how the government operates. Government cannot do the kind of hand-holding which is required. But what we can do, that is never discussed. You see, the artisans are not the sellers. If you look at the trends, the artisans make products. The products are sold by somebody. People are procuring from artisans, and they are the exporters. They are the retailers. They are the wholesalers. The artisans are not. These days, the trend actually shifting towards artisans. Some of the artisans are becoming, entrepreneurs. They have started their own enterprise. They're moving towards it. But until now, you find, let's say, you ask, Usama would also agree with me that majority of our entrepreneurs, so the women entrepreneurs, or you find, from the opposite gender, most of them, they don't manufacture. They're simply into trading. When you are into trading, in some cases, they only give a small designer input according to, what comes to them. Probably they would have studied the market, or sometimes they just give because they know some designs. They do have some design elements. We have never studied it for whom you are making, for what purpose we are making. The product that we are making for, let's say, a middle class house, which is to be placed in their living room, is not the same as what you can place it in a upper middle class or a upper class, living room. The sizes, the way it is decorated is completely different. And what you're making for, let's say, a hospitality industry is not going to work as a home decor for your. These sizes would be different. The structure would be different. So these orientations are somehow never given by any of these agencies, whether government or NGOs. Their job was to create employment opportunities. Their role was predominantly to support these artisans so that they can survive, can sustain. So today it is not the question of surviving or sustaining. They are anyway doing it. So how can you actually push them off so that they go beyond and they get benefit out of our initiatives? And also people, those who are trying to facilitate them, making little money, they can also do that job. It's no more about the government. It's about people, those who are directly doing or dealing with those products. We have to understand and bring them those required inputs. And I'm sure it takes little time, but they still can make it. It is all about orienting them. If you don't orient them, they would still be going with the same practices what they have been doing for ages, for generations. They would make a Ganesha, they would always make a Krishna. They are very efficient in making Jagannath and all. You put them, they can make the Trinity in half an hour time. They can make Jagannath, Lord Jagannath, Balabhadra, Subhadra, and probably Sudarshan. 4. But if you ask them, you make I want an abstract figure.
Jackson.
They cannot make it. Yeah. Sir,
Yeah.
you saying
In
something?
fact, Madam was telling that it was difficult for them to make the Michael Jackson.
Yes, sir.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
And in some cases, people are reluctant. I am just giving another example whom I met. Artisans from our own place, the famous village, Ragurajpur. I'm not sure whether some of them are here, present here or not, but they are very reluctant because they've never wanted to move out of their traditional, what you call the themes. When I requested him, can you make something which is related to other themes, let's say to a theme of Buddhist tradition, a theme related to Christianity, themes related to some other tradition, can you make it? They because they have never done it. They are not used to these kind of environments. Nobody has imparted a training for them on this. The orientation was missing. So she refused. He's very good at making a Dasavatar and, talking about the our own stories, mythological stories. So these are certain issues, I think, which we have to address. The people, those who are sitting in the market, dealing directly with the consumers, they have to bring those elements or inputs to the artisans, not the government. The government has done enough, I think. It's the government, both at the center and the state, they have been trying hard. If there's no, absolutely, I don't see any issues as far as government support is concerned. It's all about the kind of orientation. They also need to understand it. At the same time, I would suggest that the people, those who are the connect between the buyers and the producers, they are the key people. They have to, bring those inputs to the artisans so that they can make products for the export market.
Thank you, sir. Actually, what according to me is that we need to see the demand of the foreign buyers, what they are looking for, and our finished product with the fusioning things. So Jena sir, Vinay sir to bahut sundar bhabare seta bujhei dele. Anybody has anything else to ask? Vinay sir, is there anyone to ask anything, any doubt related to handloom and handicraft export marketing? Hello, who's there?
Hello, sir. Namaskar. Hello.
Yes, sir is listening.
Namaskar.
Sir,
Okay.
actually, we are from Odisha and we are working on handloom basically. Basically, we have thought of doing handloom in a different manner. Basically, what people think handloom is basically about ikat and all, but we have changed the version, like we go with stripes and plain, because handloom itself gives a different type of touch and feel when you wear them. And it is very, it represents what you can say ki it is a friendly cloth which you can wear all over the year in India basically, or you can say all the continental countries where we can focus. And one most important thing, sir, we want to create something which is for the global market. But the problem is we are not finding the ecosystem over here in Odisha. It is because we are from yarn to fashion, we are going with that. But the challenges are we are not getting good art, your tailoring masters, otherwise new designers. Basically, what recently we have hired a girl to give some designs to us. But what they are basically what design they sent is like they are copying from the Arabs and all what the machine design embroideries, which can be done only in your synthetic cloths, not in our handloom, otherwise cotton cloths. So these things are the missing things, which gradually, if people will be trained also, that we can adapt them also. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Saswati. I know your brand. Fortunately, I'm wearing your product only. So It's very, I must tell you that it's very interesting, very fantastic product.
That's so nice.
And
That's so
whomever,
nice.
yeah, that's, and moreover, what actually happens when, if you look at your own initiative, see, and your target market, I think we have a lot to do or play around as far as the design is concerned, as far as the material is concerned. But you have gone far, as far as creating the ecosystem as a startup or as an entrepreneur on your own. So you need further support definitely. And as you rightly said, many of our designers, without understanding the ground realities, they bring in designs which may not be appropriate for those kind of fabrics that you are dealing with. Very true. But few more things that I would like to add it to you when you were talking about targeting niche markets or specifically export markets. Quality control that we have never, addressed. Quality control and standardization. So if you find there is a slightest difference between the product that you made and the next lot that you are making it for the same buyer, small difference, it can create a lot of resentment among the buyers. This is my experience. Similarly, you have to also fuse modern designs with your traditional techniques. How can you bring in modernity in your traditional techniques? Your handloom is definitely a traditional technique. So bringing in modernity, I believe that there are different types of weaves. It's about not only about the plain weave. Some products demand different types of weaving styles. It's a quilt, it could be herringbone, it could be something else. But we mostly focus only on the practices that in the handloom sector is a plain weave, not even a weave. Okay, so that is another challenge. So then branding and storytelling. We have never got into storytelling. You making so much of efforts to promote Odisha handloom. You are probably the first one from whom I have seen that making your own fabric designs and producing it through handloom weavers and converting those handloom fabric into apparel. So here what I find with branding, Odyssey is not enough. So are you going to tell stories about it? So because it's no more a product, it's all about a craft. You're transforming a craft into something. So your storyline is also missing. Then similarly, the skill upgradation part, you cannot focus on. The government has not been doing it. The NGOs are not doing it. So who can train them? Okay, can you move beyond the plain weaves? Can you make a herringbone weave for me or a twill weave for me? So this has never been discussed. So these kind of things I think can help you differentiating product in the international market. I mean, particularly the skill upgradation part. Then the sustainability tag. You also, I found that you are also not using the sustainable or eco-friendly tags, even though you are practicing to a significant extent, but these tags are somehow missing in your case. Then again, packaging. When it comes to packaging, I still see the same poly packaging that you were using there. So can you also think of something else? If the product is costing about, let's say, I'm buying a shirt for 1,000 rupees or 1,500 rupees. So how does it, if you could make a fabric bag which is costing me another 100 rupees or 80 rupees. So still I could probably love to buy. You throw me something like that. So is it possible? Okay. Then next thing I would suggest that you should have a strong digital presence. I mean, particularly in the online marketplace until you target the export, you find a good export market, right? And similarly, start. Yeah. Ma'am.
No,
You
sir.
saying something?
On the chat box, somebody asked something. So you check that also. In the chat box, Mr. Abhishek, he mentioned something. You can just answer him also.
Obviously, he said that for catching abroad, we need to work on product cost with quality. Definitely, product cost and quality. I think cost is never an issue for us. What we find, because the product, the nature of the product is very unique. You cannot make similar products, even if you standardize, you create a SOP for your production practices, but it's difficult in fact. each product is going to be somehow different if it is handmade. It may be similar looking products, but completely making absolutely an identical product is going to be 100% identical product would be different. So quality, I think, to an extent, is something that we need to check. And but production costs we have compared across the globe, and we are one of the cheapest, producers as far as handcrafted products are concerned. Even we are doing better than Bangladesh. We are doing better than Pakistan. So the cost concern is not there for our products. The question is towards creating a kind of standardization,
Quality.
creating a quality check for our products.
Quality.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Anyone else? Anyone else has anything to ask about export related, market related things to Sir Binay sir? As I will conclude with the thing that now I'm also a part of export related training from MSME. Like today also we had a session and it was clearly mentioned that whatever like all countries climatically, geographically, they are different from each other. So what we will be sending, definitely it matters to place, country to country, and people's and everybody's cultural related things. Some countries, they don't like cotton material because usko iron dena padega, starch dena padega, then only they can wear. Some country people, they love Indian fabrics. So it all depends. And handicrafts, definitely China was ruling all over the world, but now everybody are looking for different countries handwork, handcrafted products, and India comes to a very prominent figure. And now among us, whoever are dealing with handloom and handicrafts, definitely they are having a very bright future. And Binay sir is always there with us from Odisha Corporation Foundation. I would like to thank today Dr. Binay Bhushan Jaina for giving us putting lights on the various areas which will definitely help us. And his number is mentioned when today's session also. So whoever has any doubt or anything to ask or any help to take, definitely sir is a very friendly person and he is going to help all of us without any hesitance. So I would like to give my heartfelt thanks to all the participants and to you, sir. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you.